All right, so get this. We're diving deep into the world of James H. Simons for you today.
Oh, wow.
This guy is like legend, a total math genius, who not only cracked Wall Street's code,
Right.
but then turns around and dedicates himself to giving back in a big way,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to math education.
It's pretty amazing.
So can pure math really be a money-making machine?
Good question.
And what's the secret sauce behind Simon's success in both academics and that high-stakes financial game? Let's find out.
Let's do it.
Okay, so what's interesting is that Simons didn't start out with dollar signs in his eyes.
No, not at all.
Pure mathematics was his first love,
Mm-hmm.
specifically this field called differential geometry.
Yeah. Back in the day, Simons was already making waves with something called Chern-Simons theory.
Chern-Simons theory.
Yeah, it's this super complex mathematical framework he developed with Xiang-Shen Chern.
Wow.
And what blows my mind is that they did all of this without any background in physics. Yeah. But their theory ended up becoming a cornerstone of theoretical physics.
You've got to be kidding.
Nope. It just goes to show you pure math, often seen as this abstract thing.
Right.
Can have these crazy real-world applications, even in fields you'd never expect.
Totally. But then Simons pulls a complete 180
He does.
and launches Renaissance Technologies, a firm that basically wrote the book on quantitative investing.
Wow.
And what I find so fascinating is that instead of relying on that traditional financial wisdom, Simons decided to recruit brilliant minds from all these different scientific fields.
Huh. Interesting.
It was like he was saying, forget Wall Street, just give me physicists, mathematicians, signal processing experts, anyone who could think outside the box.
Yeah.
He even famously said, and I quote, "We look for very good scientists who are interested in making some money."
That's a great quote.
So he wasn't looking for financial gurus.
Not at all.
He was hunting for raw intellectual horsepower, the kind of people who could see patterns and connections that others might miss.
Yeah, and his math background might have given him that unique ability to spot and nurture that talent.
Totally.
To see the potential in those unconventional thinkers.
Yeah, so he builds this team of super smart scientists and creates this notoriously secretive model at Renaissance Technologies.
Oh, yeah. Their model, it's legendary.
They basically have just one model that they use for trading,
Really?
which is constantly evolving.
Wow, that's commitment.
They're not chasing fads or jumping on trends.
No.
They're all about that long game, constantly tweaking and adapting based on new data and market movements.
That's fascinating, and it speaks volumes about their ability to, navigate that ever-changing landscape of the financial world.
For sure.
Things change so fast in finance.
Yeah.
What works today might be obsolete tomorrow, so you can't get stuck in your ways.
Absolutely.
So they're all about analyzing massive amounts of data,
Right.
trying to separate meaningful signals from all the noise in the market.
It's data mining on an epic scale.
Yeah. Thousands of computers working tirelessly to find those hidden gems of insight.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing, even with their super sophisticated approach.
Oh, I bet.
Simons himself admitted that they sometimes mistook random fluctuations in the market for real signals,
I see.
which led to some losses.
That makes sense.
And here's the kicker. Even with all the success they've achieved, their flagship fund, the Medallion Fund,
Oh, yeah, that one.
legendary for its sky-high returns, is notoriously hard to replicate.
Yeah, that's because building something like the Medallion Fund isn't just about crunching numbers.
Right.
It takes years of dedicated work,
Yeah.
collaboration between all these brilliant minds, and a relentless drive to improve.
It really makes you wonder, what is that magic formula?
I know.
Is it the sheer volume of data they're analyzing, or is there something special about the way they approach the problem, the way their team collaborates?
Yeah.
We talked about how Simons brought together scientists from all these different fields. Yeah. But what's really fascinating is the impact this had on Renaissance Technologies.
Right.
Think about it by intentionally avoiding those traditional financial experts.
Yeah.
He created a team that was free from Wall Street's groupthink.
Interesting.
They were able to approach problems from completely fresh angles,
Yeah.
leading to some groundbreaking innovation.
It's like bringing a painter's eye to a world obsessed with numbers.
I love that.
That fresh perspective, it can be so incredibly valuable, especially in a field as competitive as finance.
Totally.
Yeah.
But enough about Wall Street for now.
Okay.
Let's switch gears and talk about the other side of Simons.
Right.
his incredible dedication to philanthropy,
Yeah.
especially in the world of science and math education.
It wasn't just about writing checks for Simons.
Okay.
He was deeply involved in creating and supporting organizations that truly reflected his belief in the power of education to make a difference.
He founded Math for America, which is a nonprofit focused on making math and science, teaching a truly prestigious and supported profession.
That's wonderful.
It started in New York City.
Okay.
But thanks to recent legislation, it's now expanding across the country.
That's fantastic.
Imagine the impact of having highly skilled, passionate math and science teachers in every school.
That's investing in human capital on a grand scale.
Right.
Simons understands that long-term progress relies on nurturing those brilliant minds, giving them the tools and support they need to really push the boundaries of what's possible.
And it's not just Math for America. He also created the Flatiron Institute,
Oh, wow.
which supports cutting-edge computational research across a ton of scientific fields. And then there's Quanta Magazine, this awesome online publication he backs
Right.
that makes complex science accessible to anyone who's curious.
It's a great resource.
Absolutely free of charge.
We'll have to check that out.
We definitely will. And get this, 2 of his grandchildren actually chose careers in teaching. One even after working at the Flatiron Institute.
Wow, talk about living your values.
It seems like that passion for education and giving back really runs deep in the Simons family.
It's a powerful testament to the idea that success isn't just about accumulating wealth, right?
Yeah.
It's about making a lasting impact,
Right.
leaving the world a little bit better than you found it.
I love that. Now, before we move on to Simon's take on today's investment trends, let's take a quick detour and look at something else that really caught my eye.
Okay.
His opinions on ESG investing.
We're just presenting his viewpoints here, right?
Of course.
Not taking sides or endorsing anything.
Absolutely.
But it's just interesting to hear his perspective,
Yeah.
especially considering the growing focus on ESG investing in recent years.
For sure.
Simon seems to be quite skeptical of the idea that limiting investments based on ESG factors is the best way to maximize returns. He believes that while environmental and social issues are important, there may be more effective ways to address them than through investment decisions.
It's a provocative viewpoint, for sure.
It is.
And it really challenges some of the conventional wisdom around socially responsible investing.
Yeah.
He's essentially saying, don't confuse doing good with making money.
Right.
It's definitely a complex issue with passionate voices on both sides.
And it's a reminder that there are often trade-offs to consider when it comes to investing.
For sure.
Or particularly when trying to balance financial goals with social and environmental concerns.
Absolutely. Speaking of balancing different factors, Simons also had some interesting things to say about central banks
Right, yeah.
and their influence on the market. He acknowledges that they have a significant impact.
Right.
But he also points out that central bank intervention is nothing new.
Yeah.
He even brought up Paul Volcker,
Oh, wow.
the former Fed chairman who raised interest rates drastically in the 1980s to combat inflation.
It's fascinating to hear his historical perspective.
You know, right.
Especially coming from someone with such deep expertise in quantitative finance.
For sure.
He understands both the mathematical complexities of the market and the real-world implications of those policy decisions.
It's like he can see the big picture.
Yeah.
How all these different pieces fit together.
Definitely. And speaking of seeing the big picture for all those aspiring mathematicians out there who might be wondering if Wall Street's the place to be,
Right.
Simons actually encourages them to apply to Renaissance technologies.
You're kidding?
Nope. He believes there are still tons of opportunities for talented individuals in quantitative investing.
So even though the field is much more crowded and competitive than when he started,
Yeah.
Simons is still optimistic about the opportunities for those with the right skills and mindset.
It's inspiring.
It is. It sounds like he's confident that there's still room for innovation and fresh perspectives in the field.
Totally. He's basically saying, if you've got the brains and the drive, come on, and the water's fine.
I love that. It's so great to hear that Simons is still so enthusiastic about the potential of quantitative investing.
Me too.
So we've got this math whiz
Yeah.
who not only cracked codes for the government,
Right.
but then turned around and built one of the most successful hedge funds ever, all while dedicating himself to giving back in a major way.
It's pretty incredible.
It's almost like 3 different lives packed into one.
What's fascinating is how those different aspects of his life, from pure mathematics to finance to philanthropy, are actually interconnected.
I agree.
His mathematical brilliance laid the foundation for his success on Wall Street,
Right.
which in turn provided the resources to pursue his philanthropic passions.
It's like a domino effect, one success leading to another, and ultimately culminating in this incredible legacy of giving back and supporting future generations.
And there's that beautiful full circle moment where two of his grandchildren become teachers, possibly inspired by his own dedication to education.
That's amazing. It's a powerful testament to the lasting impact one person can have, both through professional achievements and a commitment to making a positive difference in the world.
It's truly inspiring.
It is. This deep dive has been incredible so far.
I know, me too.
And I'm already feeling so fired up.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most unconventional paths lead to the most extraordinary destinations.
And that even the most complex math can have real-world applications.
Yeah.
Whether it's cracking codes, predicting market movements, or supporting scientific breakthroughs.
Exactly. So much of what we've discussed today goes back to that core idea, the unpredictable power of knowledge and the importance of using it wisely.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, here's something to ponder.
Okay.
What unexpected connections might be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered in your own life?
That's a great question to reflect on.
Right?
Maybe we all have our own Chern-Simons moments waiting to happen.
Ooh, I like that.
Those instances where seemingly unrelated ideas suddenly connect and spark something entirely new.
It's a challenge to embrace the unexpected and see where it leads.
Exactly. And maybe those moments are more common than we realize. All it takes is a little curiosity and the willingness to look beyond the surface.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far.
I agree.
It's amazing how much we've uncovered about James H. Simons, his life, his work, and his lasting impact on the world.
It's been a truly enriching exploration.
Let's keep exploring.
Indeed. Shall we continue?
Absolutely. Now on to part 2.
It's fascinating how Simons' own journey kind of mirrors some of the scientific breakthroughs featured in Quantum magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like think about his early work in pure mathematics, that Chern-Simons theory we talked about.
Right.
At first, it seemed like a purely abstract concept with no practical application.
We're like some lone genius scribbling equations on a chalkboard.
Exactly, lost in a world of numbers and theories.
Totally.
But then years later, that very theory becomes crucial in theoretical physics. It's a perfect example of how we often just can't predict the ultimate impact of fundamental research.
So true. It's like a reminder to never underestimate the power of curiosity, right?
Absolutely.
That initial spark of interest can lead to unexpected breakthroughs years down the line.
It really can. And it makes me wonder what seemingly abstract ideas or fields of study today might revolutionize our world tomorrow.
That's a great question.
What will be the next Chern-Simons theory?
That's a thought-provoking question for sure.
It is.
It's a call to action for all those curious minds out there to keep exploring, keep pushing the boundaries, because who knows what amazing discoveries are waiting to be made.
Exactly. And that spirit of exploration seems to be deeply ingrained in Simons' own approach to life.
Totally. Think about his career trajectory. He goes from cracking codes for the government to groundbreaking work in mathematics, then pivots to finance and builds one of the most successful hedge funds in history.
Yeah.
And then dedicates himself to philanthropy, focusing on science and math education.
It's really something else.
It's mind-boggling.
What I find fascinating is his willingness to embrace new challenges in seemingly unrelated fields.
I know, it's amazing.
He doesn't limit himself to just one area of expertise.
Right.
He connects the dots and applies his knowledge in these unexpected ways.
It's like he sees the world as this giant puzzle with all these hidden connections just waiting to be discovered. And he's not afraid to try different pieces, even if they don't seem to fit at first glance.
Precisely. It's a mindset that fuels innovation and can lead to truly groundbreaking discoveries.
And it's a valuable lesson for all of us.
It is.
Regardless of what we're passionate about.
Absolutely. It's about being open to those new possibilities, recognizing that the most unexpected connections can often lead to the most amazing insights.
I totally agree. And, you know, it reminds me of something Simon said in one of the articles you shared.
Oh, yeah.
About hiring for Renaissance technologies.
Oh, right.
He had some really interesting insights on talent identification.
He did.
He talked about how he valued slow, thoughtful answers over quick, superficial ones.
Yes, and do you remember that story about the candidate he hired despite the interviewing group's hesitation?
Oh, yeah, totally. The group wasn't impressed, but Simon saw something special in that candidate.
He did.
He was willing to look beyond those surface-level impressions and recognize potential where others might have missed it.
It really speaks volumes about his approach, doesn't it?
It does.
He valued diverse perspectives and understood that true brilliance often comes from those unexpected places.
It's a great reminder that sometimes the most valuable insights come from those who think differently, who challenge the status quo, and bring fresh ideas to the table.
For sure, and it makes me think about our own deep dive today.
Oh, yeah.
We're exploring the life and work of someone who defied easy categorization.
That's true.
He's a mathematician, a financier, a philanthropist.
Right.
His story is a testament to the power of interdisciplinary thinking.
And it really highlights the value of our approach here.
Yeah.
We're not just focusing on one aspect of Simon's life or career.
Yeah.
We're weaving together these different threads, exploring the connections,
Right.
and ultimately gaining a much richer understanding of the man and his impact.
Exactly. And it's through this process of connecting the dots that we uncover the most fascinating insights.
Yeah.
Those aha moments that make these deep dives so rewarding.
Speaking of aha moments, something else really stood out to me from the research. Simon's thoughts on the role of luck in his success.
Oh, yeah. He acknowledged that luck played a part, but he emphasized that hard work, common sense, and a willingness to seize opportunities were equally important.
He even titled his memoir Mathematics, Common Sense, and Good Luck.
Such a great title.
I know, right?
It perfectly captures the essence of his journey, acknowledging the element of chance,
Mm-hmm.
while also highlighting the importance of personal agency and effort.
It raises an interesting question, though, doesn't it?
It does.
How much of our own success or failure is due to factors beyond our control
Right.
versus the choices we make and the actions we take?
It's a question for the ages.
We could probably spend a whole other deep dive pondering that one.
Maybe we will someday. But for now, let's get back to Simon's world.
Okay.
We were discussing his philanthropic work, particularly Math for America.
Right. His initiative to support math and science teachers and elevate the teaching profession. It's truly inspiring, and it seems to be gaining real momentum.
It is. It started in New York City, but now it's expanding nationwide thanks to recent legislation. That's a huge step forward.
It really speaks to the growing recognition of how important STEM education is,
Yeah.
and the need to invest in the people who inspire and educate the next generation of scientists and mathematicians.
And it's not just about providing financial support.
Right.
Math for America offers ongoing professional development and creates a community for educators to share their knowledge and best practices.
It's a holistic approach that recognizes the challenges teachers face and gives them the resources they need to thrive.
It makes you wonder, what if we extended that same level of support and recognition to all teachers, regardless of their subject?
Now, that's a fantastic point.
It is.
It highlights how crucial teachers are in shaping our society and the need to value their contributions more broadly. Investing in our educators should be a top priority.
Couldn't agree more. We need to have that conversation as a society. But for now,
Okay.
let's circle back to Simon's other philanthropic endeavors. We briefly mentioned the Flatiron Institute earlier. His research center focused on computational science.
Oh, yeah, the Flatiron Institute. And it's not limited to just one field. They've got teams working on everything from computational biology to computational astrophysics.
Wow.
They're tackling some seriously complex questions.
It really showcases the breadth of Simon's vision
Yeah.
and his belief that computational methods can be applied to advance scientific discovery across a wide range of disciplines.
It's like he's saying, let's use the power of computers to unravel the mysteries of the universe, from the tiniest cells to the vast expanse of space.
I love that. And let's not forget his support for Quanta Magazine,
Yeah, well, yeah.
which we mentioned earlier. It's such a fantastic resource for anyone who wants to stay updated on the latest developments in science and math.
It's a great publication.
It demonstrates his commitment to making those complex scientific ideas accessible to everyone, not just academics and experts.
So true. That's something we can all appreciate,
So we can.
regardless of our background in science.
It's all about sparking curiosity and encouraging people to engage with the world around them.
Okay, so we've covered Simons's deep dive into philanthropy.
We have.
But let's get back to the world of finance for a bit. Remember, we're just presenting his viewpoints here.
Right.
Impartially, of course.
Of course, it's important to approach these discussions with a critical mind and consider all sides of the argument. So what about Simons's take on current trends in the world of finance particularly caught your attention?
Well, his perspective on ESG investing was pretty thought-provoking.
Oh, yeah. How so?
He doesn't seem to be a big fan of limiting investments based on ESG factors if the goal is maximizing returns.
You're right, he's quite outspoken about his skepticism. He acknowledges that environmental and social issues are vital,
Hmm.
but he believes there might be more effective ways to address them than through investment decisions alone.
It's a bold stance that challenges the conventional wisdom around socially responsible investing.
It does.
He's essentially saying, don't confuse doing good with making money, and it's sure to spark some lively debate.
For sure, it's a complex issue with valid points on both sides, and Simons's perspective definitely encourages us to think critically about the nuances of ESG investing and the potential trade-offs involved.
Absolutely. It's not a simple black and white issue.
No, it's not.
We need to carefully consider all the angles and potential consequences of our investment decisions.
Agreed. Now, what about his views on central banks?
Ah, yes. He touched upon their role in the market, too.
Yeah.
He acknowledges their significant influence, but emphasizes that central bank intervention isn't a new phenomenon.
Right.
He even referenced Paul Volcker,
Oh, wow.
the former Fed chairman who took drastic measures to combat inflation in the 1980s.
It's intriguing to hear his historical perspective,
It is.
especially given his expertise in quantitative finance.
Right.
He brings a unique understanding of both the mathematical models that influence market behavior and the real-world consequences of those policy decisions.
He's bridging the gap between theory and practice.
Yeah. Which is a rare and valuable skill.
Okay, switching gears a bit.
Yeah.
There are a lot of aspiring mathematicians out there who might be wondering about the opportunities in finance. What would Simons's advice be to someone looking to follow in his footsteps?
Well, he actually addressed this directly. He encourages young mathematicians interested in finance to apply to Renaissance technologies.
Really?
Yeah, he believes there's still plenty of room for talented individuals in the field.
So even though the field of quantitative finance is much more crowded and competitive than when he started,
Yes.
Simons is still optimistic about the opportunities for those with the right skills and mindset.
It's inspiring.
It sounds like he's confident that there's still room for innovation and fresh perspectives in the field. He's basically saying if you've got the brains and the drive, come on, and the water's fine.
I love that.
It's great to hear that Simons is still so enthusiastic about the potential of quantitative investing.
Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
We've seen Simons as a mathematician, as a codebreaker, as a Wall Street titan,
Yeah.
and as a dedicated philanthropist.
Like he's lived several lifetimes in one.
It's hard to even categorize him. He's defied all the labels.
That's very true.
What's fascinating is how those seemingly disparate parts of his life are actually woven together.
Yeah.
His mathematical brilliance paved the way for his success in finance, which then fueled his ability to pursue his philanthropic passions.
It's like a chain reaction of success and impact. And there's something poetic about how two of his grandchildren chose careers in teaching, even with opportunities in other fields.
I know, it's beautiful.
It's like a subtle nod to his dedication to education and his belief in nurturing future generations.
It's a beautiful example of how one person can make a lasting impact on the world, both through their own achievements and by inspiring others to follow their passions.
This deep dive has been incredible.
Yeah,
I'm already feeling so inspired.
me too. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unconventional paths can lead to the most remarkable destinations.
And that even the most complex math can have a profound impact on the real world.
Absolutely.
From cracking codes to shaping financial markets to driving scientific breakthroughs.
It all boils down to that unpredictable power of knowledge and the importance of using it wisely. But before we move on, I have a question for you.
Okay, shoot.
Given everything we've learned about Simons's approach to problem solving and his belief in diverse perspectives, what unexpected connections do you think might exist in your own life just waiting to be discovered?
Wow, that's a really deep question. It makes me think about all the different areas of my life that might seem unrelated on the surface, but could be connected in ways I haven't even considered.
Maybe there are hidden patterns, unforeseen opportunities, or potential synergies just waiting to be uncovered if we just look closely enough.
You're right, it's like a challenge to embrace the unexpected and see where it leads. Who knows what hidden gems of insight we might find if we're willing to dig a little deeper.
Exactly. And maybe those moments of discovery are more common than we realize. All it takes is a little curiosity, a willingness to step outside our comfort zones, and an open mind.
I love that it's a call to adventure, an invitation to explore the uncharted territories of our own lives and see what we can find.
Well said. And who knows, maybe exploring a resource like Quantum Magazine could be a great place to start.
Oh, yeah,
It's a treasure trove of fascinating insights into the world of science.
it is.
And it's completely free. You never know what spark of inspiration might be waiting there.
That's a great idea. I'm definitely adding that to my reading list.
Well, it seems like we've reached a natural stopping point for now.
Agreed. This has been an incredible journey so far, and I'm excited to see what else we uncover in the next part of our deep dive.
Me too. There's still so much more to explore in the world of James H. Simons.
All right, on to part 3. Okay, so let's jump back into the world of James H. Simons.
Right.
It's amazing how we can keep uncovering these fascinating layers to his story.
It's true. He's like a puzzle box with endless compartments, each revealing a new aspect of his brilliance and impact.
We were talking about Simons's perspective on artificial intelligence and machine learning and investing before.
Right.
Given his background in quantitative finance, it's a topic that's right up his alley.
Yeah, exactly. And what's fascinating is that while he acknowledges the significant advances and the growing role of machine learning in their work at Renaissance Technologies, he also points out the inherent challenges.
I remember him talking about how it's not enough for a machine to just spit out predictions.
Right.
We need to be able to understand the reasoning behind those predictions.
Yeah.
Why not just the what?
That's a critical point. We can't just blindly trust the output of these complex algorithms.
No.
We need to make sure they're making decisions based on sound logic and not just spurious correlations in the data.
It's like we need to be able to peek inside the black box
Yes.
and make sure the machine isn't just playing a game of statistical smoke and mirrors.
Exactly. We need to be able to trust the machine, to have confidence that its decisions are grounded in something more than just statistical patterns.
Right.
And this brings up some really important ethical considerations as well
Oh, yeah, for sure.
about the role of AI in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
How much autonomy are we willing to give to these algorithms?
Right.
And what are the potential consequences of relinquishing control to machines that we don't fully understand?
Wow, those are some really deep questions.
They are.
It's definitely something we need to think carefully about as we integrate these incredibly powerful technologies into more and more aspects of our world.
Absolutely.
But getting back to Simons, I remember he shared an interesting story about I. Rabi,
Okay.
the physicist who won a Nobel Prize for discovering nuclear magnetic resonance. What was so fascinating was how that discovery, which seemed like a purely scientific breakthrough at the time,
Yeah.
eventually led to the development of MRI technology.
That's a perfect example of how innovating and fundamental research can have those unexpected and far-reaching benefits even decades down the line.
It really is.
We can't always predict how a scientific discovery will be applied or what impact it'll have on the world.
It's like planting a seed and not knowing what kind of tree it will grow into or what fruits it will bear.
Yeah.
But you plant it anyway, trusting that something beautiful and beneficial will eventually emerge.
Exactly. And that brings us back to Simon's philanthropic work.
Right.
His support for Math for America, the Flatiron Institute, and Quantum Magazine really shows a deep commitment to fostering that environment where those unexpected discoveries can happen.
It's clear that he believes in the power of education and fundamental research to create a better future,
Yeah.
even if we can't always see the path from discovery to application.
It's truly inspiring to see someone who's achieved such incredible success, dedicating his resources and his influence to support the very things that have fueled his own journey.
And it's a reminder that we all have the potential to make a difference,
We do.
whether it's through our work, our giving, or simply by sharing our knowledge and inspiring others.
Absolutely well said. Now, before we wrap up our deep dive into the world of James H. Simons,
Okay.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
All right.
Remember Simons's simple but profound answer when asked about the secret to the Medallion Fund's success.
Oh, yeah.
Hard work over a long period of time.
It's a reminder that those extraordinary achievements are often the result of sustained effort, dedication, and perseverance.
It's not about overnight success or finding some magic formula. It's about showing up day after day, year after year, and consistently striving for excellence.
And, it makes me think about our own goals and aspirations.
Yeah.
What are we willing to dedicate ourselves to? What sacrifices are we willing to make? And are we truly committed to putting in the effort required to achieve our dreams?
It's easy to get caught up in the idea instant gratification.
So true.
But true success often requires that long-term perspective and a willingness to embrace the journey challenges and all.
And while there may be setbacks, moments of doubt, and those unexpected detours along the way,
Yeah.
it's our ability to keep learning, adapting, moving forward that ultimately determines our success.
Very well said.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
We've uncovered so much about James H. Simons, from his early days as a mathematician and codebreaker to his groundbreaking work in finance and his extraordinary dedication to philanthropy.
He's a true inspiration, a testament to the power of intellectual curiosity, relentless hard work, and a deep commitment to making a positive impact on the world.
We hope you, our listener, have enjoyed this deep dive as much as we have.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, the most extraordinary journeys often begin with a single step into the unknown.